All right. So here's the thing. I feel like sometimes different things are important to talk about. And sometimes I just think of a topic and I think of something that I might apply to people or not to people in particular. Um, in our lives, we have to set priorities. So here's the thing that I think priorities should be important because, and you may disagree and have a different opinion than me, which is fine. Everybody's allowed that. But I always feel like it should be this way. God and your faith should always come first. Then your family and your friends. And then yourself and your job. All those three are combined with each other. But then it also, if you can read it, which I don't think you can, leads to joy. Having more joy and a fulfilling life. So it's really important that you think about your priorities in your life. Why is it important always to put God and your faith at the top? If you didn't have God or your faith, you would have nothing. He is a lot stronger than anyone out there. He can save you. He can protect you. He can help you get through really rough times in your life. When you're in your deepest, darkest hour, people who normally do not have faith, what do? They pray. So obviously, God is very important. You put him first, you show him that you care about him and that he means something to you. Then he's going to turn around and he's going to be there for you when you have a hard time. Why is family and friends so important? That's really easy. They're from your family and friends. Your family has seen you in your best and your worst times. And so if your family has seen you in your best and your worst times, as well as some of your friends have seen you in your best and your worst times, who do you think you should be going to? Who should you be thinking about and helping? When you get in a tight spot, I guarantee good friends and family are going to be there to help you get through that tight spot. They're going to help you out of it. They're going to find a way to get you through it. So you should always make sure that your friends and family come first in your life, no matter what you do. Because they should be even a priority over your job. Because sometimes people don't forget that how important people are. The fact that we can easily lose somebody like that in the blink of an eye makes somebody very important. It makes family important. It makes your friends important. You don't know that might be the last text you get to talk and send to that person. They text you. Do you text them back? Maybe it might be the last time you ever get to say anything to them or how much they mean to you. So they should always be a priority. But the thing is, you also have to remember your job and yourself is important as well. Why is your job so important? This is one that I'm going to talk about for a minute because I think that your job and yourself go in line with God and family and friends. If you don't have a job, can you get the gas money or the insurance for your car to go rescue your friend who might be depressed and have nobody to talk to? They may be in a very low spot and they need you right then. You don't have a job and you're out of gas. What are you going to do? You can't get to them. You're going to talk to them on the phone. You're going to pay your cell phone bill. Why? Because you don't have a job. So, your job is very important. I remember when I was starting out in retail, there would be times I'd get 4 hours a week. 4 hours. Yeah. Sometimes I want to call in. What's the use of showing up for 4 hours, right? Well, the fact that I showed up for every shift, no matter how many or how little hours they gave me. Eventually, my bosses started taking notice of that. I was a very hard worker. Whenever I was there, I would put in a lot of hard work for them. So I only had 4 hours a week. But eventually that 4 hours of work led into 20 hours a week. And led into me getting a lead position. And led into me becoming a key holder. And so the fact that I was dependable and I showed up for my job, even though they only scheduled me for 4 hours, I was there. I proved to them that they could depend on me. Whereas this person over here that they gave the position that I tried for, that they didn't give to me, they didn't do none of the signing correct. I did all their work where they stood like this all day long. And my bosses started to take notice of it. He finally went bye-bye, and I got his position. So the fact is, your job is important. You need to be able to put food on the table. You need to be able to fill your car up with gas and have car insurance so you can be there for your family, so that you can be there for your friends. You can't do that if you don't have a job. So you need the job. But is the job more important than your family? Your family member has surgery. You can take a leave of absence at the job that you're at. Do you take that leave of absence, or do you keep working? No, not if you really put your family as priority. You take that leave because you're going to get paid leave. You can be with them and help them get through their rough time. They're going to remember that you were a good family member, that you were there for them when things were tough. So the thing is it's important to make sure that you're there. Family emergency comes up and get a phone call. Do you stay at work, or do you immediately tell your bosses, I'm sorry, but I got to go? My mother-in-law, I got the phone call. We got a phone call from my father-in-law, and because he was trying to reach my husband, and he wasn't picking up the phone. I picked up the phone, even though I was on the sales floor. And I was running the fitting room at the time for someone's lunch. And he was like, I need Brent to call me like now. I'm like, okay. So Brent called him. And then I get a text message from my husband. I'm leaving work right now. They're getting ready to put her on morphine. I didn't regret 1 minute of leaving work that day. I had only worked for 1 hour. I left my job because I wanted to be by my mother's and my mother-in-law's side to the moment she took her last breath. If I had not left, I would have not gotten to tell her goodbye. It was the most memorable and also the most sad experience I've ever had, to watch her go through what she went through. But when she took her last breath, she wasn't by herself. Me and my husband were right there. And she was coherent pretty much. So she was constantly asking for massages and back scratches. Oh my goodness. Was my shoulder sore the next day after rubbing and massaging my mother-in-law for as long as I was. Non-stop for an hour or 2 hours. But that's all she wanted. It was her last moments of her life. What are you going to do for your family? Are you going to sit there and ignore the request? So the fact is that your job is very important. You also have to remember, hi, Natalie, that the reason your job needs to be a priority is people watch you. Your actions speak louder than words. You don't realize people are watching you. You may be single. You may eventually want to not be single. So think about it this way. If you are the type that doesn't show up for work or calls off because you're mad because they didn't give you enough hours, or you just don't like to work, and they see you have Dawn over here and another person over here, this person is always dependable. They show up for work. They're always there. They're never missing. And when you see them, you watch them, they're working their butts off. They work hard when they're there. They're a hard worker. They're dependable. What's that say about that person? Think about it for a minute. But at the same time, you could watch that person and you see them get a phone call from their family. What do? They leave. They go take care of the family. So they put work as secondary importance because they realize without that job and without that income coming in, they cannot be there for their friends and family. So then you have this person over here who calls off all the time or doesn't consider the job important, even if they only have a few hours. They're really good about that and taking care of their friends and family. They're there for them. They never miss a text message from their friends and family. One of them texts them like that. You get a text message back from them. It's good, right? What's the problem? They don't consider the job important. If you're being watched and your actions are being watched, what do you think that somebody who knows that they won't be able to support you is going to think? Nowadays, both couples have to work. Both the husband and the wife have to work to bring in an income. Do you think they want to be with somebody who doesn't want to work? Because they're going to carry the load all the time. They're going to have to pay the bills by themselves. They might as well stay single than to be with you. So, hello, priorities. God first, family first, second, your job. Last thing I want to talk about is yourself. Why is yourself so important? If you are a healthcare caregiver, even if it's for a short period of time, you really, really need to take care of your health. You need to make sure that you're getting enough sleep. You need to make sure you're eating the correct things. You need to get at least 10 to 15 minutes of exercise 5 days a weekend. Why? I'm going to give you a challenge. If you still haven't started working out with me or any of these other YouTube people, I want you to pick out my videos on my 15 a minute or less. I want you to do one video a day, 5 days a week for 2 weeks. I want you to eat really healthy. Cut out your junk food, drink more water, juices, things like that, things that are really good for you. I want you to see if your energy level improves. Guarantee you, it's going to go through the roof. If you have more energy, you feel better, you can breathe better, you have increasing exercise increases, especially your cardio exercises, increases your endurance, helps increase your breathing because your lung capacity is going to have to increase because you're going to have to breathe deeper and harder in order to keep up with your running, with your jumping rope, whatever you decide to do. It's just overall, you're going to have and feel a lot better. Therefore, as a caregiver, you're going to be able to give 150% to your family member or your friend that you're looking after and taking care of. So self-care is extremely important. So taking care of yourself and your job should be in third place. And it goes right along with family and friends. So actually, those almost come in second as well. Because you need your job, you need your health in order to be able to be there for your family and friends. So what is your priority? What is your priority? What does your actions say? If somebody were to watch your actions and to see how you've been acting lately, or over the 6 months, or a year, what is that person going to say about you? Are they going to say they're hardworking, they're dependable, they never miss work, no matter how irritated they are with their bosses or the job or the way they're treating them? They always show up. Whenever their friends or family needs them, they call them, they text them, want to know anything, just talk about it, and just even chit chat with them. Do they answer right away? Are they there for their family? Do they put God first? Do they really think He's important? Those are things that somebody's going to pay attention to. Whether you realize somebody's watching you or not, they are. And if they don't like any one of those things, the way you're acting in any of one of those things, guarantee you, if they thought about you in any way because they're single too, I guarantee that's going out the window. So think about your priorities. Make sure that you are the person that you'd want to be married to. If you aren't dependable, hardworking, and always show up no matter how frustrated you are, if you aren't there for your friends and family, do you think that you would want to be with you? Have a great night, everybody. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel.